This is kind of my third time traveling solo, and to be honest, I can never get used to this. I feel very uncomfortable, I feel afraid, excited but afraid at the same time. Hey, what's up everyone? So today's gonna be like a sit down, chatty kind of vlog, and I kind of basically want to talk about something which the title suggests is solo travel as a Singaporean. Well, the Singaporean part, is just to make it, more relatable. Clickbait a bit. I don't know, like based on my circle of friends or based on what I see, maybe it's not just Singapore, but solo travel is not like something that you see every other day. Only a few people really like solo travel like intensively. Like even for me, I don't do that. So far, I've only traveled solo for personal trips, not counting the work trips, for 3 trips. I think generally solo travel is viewed upon as like not safe. You're alone in a foreign country, it's scary, so it requires a lot of like courage to actually book that trip. Like, I totally get it. Today I want to talk about solo travel based on my experiences as a Singaporean, as a kind of like introvert-ish, and also as a filmmaker and content creator. Let's talk about the challenges first, like the negative things. And right from the start, from the intro, you can tell that, yeah, I do get pre-trip jitters. Even though, I have not traveled a lot solo, but I still, like with each solo trip, I still get that pre-trip jitters. Not really anxiety, but just the fear of being alone in a foreign country, just not knowing what to expect from the trip, and anything could go wrong, and you're all on your own. Whether you miss your train, you get lost, you fall sick, you are on your own, you know what I mean? So it's all on you, and it's scary. The idea of it is scary. I guess the next challenge of traveling solo, right, is the cost. It's gonna be a lot more expensive for sure. Accommodation, you can't split any cost with someone, so the most ideal way to save money when you travel solo is to go on a hostel. Stay in a hostel. I'm generally okay with hostels, but the challenge for me is because I usually travel with quite a huge luggage. Sometimes hostels are not that big. Some hostels are really like tight on space. So there's that issue of space for me. Like sometimes I can't even stuff my luggage in the locker, and I have a lot of equipment to charge and all, and the space is really tight, like the challenge for me is really to access all of my stuff in that very tight space. But I could live with it, you know what I mean? Okay, so the next challenge, well, it's more of the pre-trip planning. For those who plan their trips, and if you want to plan for your solo trips, you know how tiring it can be when you plan for trips, especially to places that are far away and you need to figure out like the directions and all. It can be very taxing if you're just doing all the workload by yourself in terms of finding accommodation, good flights, directions, transport, activities, tours, which ones are good. It's super tiring. Even like coming up with the itinerary, if you want to do that, it's all on you, so it's very taxing. Back to the filmmaking side, for me, when I'm solo and I want to like film the vlogs or the travel visuals, the problem that I have is I don't have a subject to film, right? Like just having someone to walk in the frame or having someone to interact with me is definitely a lot more. The shots are more limited and the interactions are a lot more, it's just less dynamic. That's the one problem that I have when I travel solo when it comes to just creating content. And then back to the hostel again, as much as I'm an introvert or whatnot, when you travel solo, you tend to be a bit more open. And I do talk to people in the common area or even in the bunk room, talk about where you come from, what you do, and do little small talks. But I don't like hang out with other travelers to like spend a day trip together, or like go have drinks or go party with other travelers. Like this is probably a Singaporean, Asian thing, or even an introvert thing. I don't know. Just based on my experience, I don't really do that. I feel personally it's more of a Western thing. Like they can just really hang out easily together and go have drinks and whatnot. Even though I would love to experience that myself one day, but I feel that as an Asian traveler, most of the time I just find myself being alone lah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really go all out there to have like a big group of friends who are traveling solo together as well. I mean, for my recent trip in Finland, I actually got to hang out with a kind French dude, and we had dinner together, and we actually went to the Santa Claus village together, but I kind of lost him midway because I wanted to shoot a lot of B-rolls for my content of the Santa Claus village. So that's also one issue, like, because I have to film stuff. So man, I'm hard to travel with lah. So okay, so now we have swept all the negative, the challenges of solo travel. Now I'm going to talk about the positive things about traveling solo. And the very first thing would be, you're in total control of your entire trip. Okay, you can be indulgent as hell in whatever you want to do. If you want to visit a guitar shop for 4 hours, you can do that. If you want to sleep in for the day, you can do that. No one's going to bug you. No one's going to pressure you to do things that you don't want to do. You don't have to compromise to another person's preference. You basically can just indulge in yourself. And I think that's the best thing about traveling solo. Like, you can really just indulge. And so for me, when I'm at a very pretty or epic location, right, like, and how I would say it, right, would be, I would shoot the out of that place. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just spam all the angles that I can spam without having the pressure of someone else waiting on me to do my shots. Of course, I've mentioned this in the challenge when it comes to talking to people, but it's actually a benefit as well. Like, when you travel solo, you tend to be able to open up better as compared to when you're with your friends. I find that the tendency is you probably won't talk to people. You tend not to talk to strangers when you're with your circle of friends already. So I guess traveling solo allows you to have the opportunity to just talk to people from around the world, and you'll find that the world is actually so much bigger than what you're used to. And so lastly, people tend to say, like, when you travel solo, you can like go and find yourself. For my case, I mean, I'm still trying to find myself, even up to now. So I don't think it's about finding myself or yourself. It's just more about just discovering little things about yourself, and just being able to survive in a foreign country by yourself, and learning how to spend and enjoy alone time. That itself for me is the biggest takeaway when it comes to traveling solo. I mean, I do enjoy both solo travel and traveling with friends. Both has its own unique perks. I'm not a hardcore solo traveler. I do like to share my experience with someone else as well. For me personally, I cannot be traveling solo all the time. Like, I do enjoy company as well. So I think once in a while when I travel solo, it's really fun and unique. Every time when I finish a solo trip, I feel like fulfilled, satisfied. I don't think solo travel is for everyone, but I highly encourage, if you can do it, go try it out. You can plan for nearby countries like Southeast Asia. It's really cheap to do that. And if not, if you're worried about like safety and whatnot, I would say this: Japan is a great place to start traveling solo, right? It's so accessible everywhere. It's definitely 100% safe, and yeah, the scenery, the food, everything is good. And yeah, that is all for me in terms of my experiences as a solo traveler and a content creator from Singapore. Yeah, let me know in the comments below and share with me your experiences as a solo traveler. I would really love to hear them out. And also let me know what other topics you would like me to talk about. So do give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. It really helps. And don't forget to subscribe and join in the ride for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.